Hi, I'm Fabian and welcome back, and today we're talking about these little guys, the Guitar Capo, and whether we really need them or not. So, a little disclaimer, I use Guitar Capos quite a lot in my music. I really like them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should use them or that you will find any use for them. So let's talk about some uses. Probably the most obvious is changing key without having to change the chords. So let's say you're playing a song in, I don't know, A minor, and you want to play that song in a new key, a little higher in C minor. But we want to keep the A minor fingering because it's a lot nicer and more comfortable to play in than the C minor fingering. So we would just put the capo on the 3rd fret, and then, et voila, you're playing in C minor with an A minor fingering. And that goes on to my second use, and that is to play songs in easier or nicer fingerings. So I really like to play in the key of A minor and G minor and G major, and it's kind of less to do with the actual sound and more to do with the fingering and the positioning of the chords and the notes. When I'm playing in my preferred keys, all the chords and the fingerings and the intervals just sit a lot nicer for me under my fingers. There's some other points that I want to talk about with using a capo and that I haven't really heard mentioned in other videos. So I really want to talk about it in this video, and that's the physical elements of using a capo. Now, when you're using a capo, your guitar really changes physically. What I mean by that is two things happen. The first thing that happens is that your strings get closer to the fretboard. Now, there's some positives and some negatives to these physical elements. When you're playing your guitar without a capo, it lets the strings resonate at their full length, and I think, in my opinion, that gives a fuller, bigger sound, a more resonant sound than it would do with a capo on. But the positive physical elements of using a capo is that firstly, your strings get closer to the fretboard. Now, I think this is a great thing because it actually feels a lot nicer under the fingers when you're playing with a capo. You don't have to apply as much pressure with your fingers, and doing things like hammer-ons and pull-offs are way easier, I find, when using a capo. Another thing is that your instrument is more resonant in certain keys than other keys. Every instrument, depending on the shape and the size, has its preferred frequencies to resonate under. This happens in rooms as well. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a room and you say something in a certain frequency or a certain pitch, that it kind of resonates? It's the same thing with instruments. So I actually find that my instrument resonates better in certain keys than it does in other keys. So I have my go-to frets that I like to put the capo on because I know that my guitar will resonate a lot better with the capo on that particular fret. So what's your verdict about the capo? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know down below. I really enjoy hearing your opinions on this, so please don't be shy. Let me know your thoughts down below. Give it a like if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.